हाई नमस्ते बोजू बजाइमा स्वागत छ मेरो नाम भ्रिकुटी राई आज चाहिँ सायद इतिशा will not be able to join us here but it's going to be a very exciting episode, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I have to talk like an RJ because I am again in a studio, this time joined by two lovely guests. तर त्योभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ के भन्न लाग्छ भने so I'm going to digress from the beginning only, please bear with me. So आज चाहिँ हो 18 जुलाई, which means yesterday was 17 July. 17 July भनेपछि it's been a little over 24 hours since केसरिया तेरा भन्ने गीत रिलिज भएको थियो होइन ब्रह्मास्त्र मुभीको. तर सरी मैले त्यसरी आवाज गीत गाएँ, मेरो रुगा लागिरहेछ है. तर like me, if you guys have also been like listening to केसरिया like on loop होइन, so म त्यो लभ स्टोरी भन्दा भन्दै I was like I'm going to make a point to, you know, like sort of like जबरजस्ती घुसाओ this into this episode because आजको story is sort of about love storiyaaas. अनि आजको love storiyaaas भन्नको लागि हामीसँग यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ रबिना and विद्या. Please welcome to BojuBajai.
Thank you.
I'm sure you know them if you follow us on our Instagram. Robina is a former Boju and Vidya is a current Boju at BojuBajai. So thank you so much and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, it's great to be on the
See,
other
that's it,
side.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of question about the other side आजकोमा. So before we start, so अलिकति Vidya and Robina, if you'd like to introduce yourself, something cool about yourself. Oh, for example, like how would you write your bio in dating apps?
But if I were to write a bio right now, oh my god, all त्यति desperate छैन त्यही भएर.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been with BojuBajai like 3 semester university
Yeah,
3
exactly.
semester.
We have very young people with us, eh? Okay, Robina, how would you like introduce yourself? Like cool fun, Robina's like cool
Wow.
fun, like Robina loves to dance. के भन्न तिम्रो आफ्नो प्रो-
Yes, Robina loves
I don't know why I'm doing this intro, just to put you guys at ease actually.
Hype us up.
I'm Robina. I was with Boju Bajai for almost 2 years. And I think I recently, it's been like a few months since I left. Right now I'm going through a transition period in my life where I'm trying to move countries for my further studies. So, अहिले घर बस्ने, मान्छे भेट्ने, like there's nothing fun and interesting.
Okay. Ani, before we actually go into our episode, which is about sort of like I don't know how to do the suspense building on I just already gave it it's going to be sort of about love stories and sort of like talking about dating apps, something which we've done in the past, होइन. So हामीले पहिला नि episode गरेको छौँ, सुन्नु भएको छैन भने love, sex or Dhoka. No
Dhoka. No
love,
Dhoka.
sex, no Dhoka episode सुन्नु होला, where we spoke to a lot of people about their dating experience. आजको चाहिँ is going to be slightly different because हामीले चाहिँ we talked about mostly general experience, how it is to be on dating apps. तर अहिले particular this point in time, as in like this के भन्ने अब जुलाई हो होइन. So for a lot of people, most of them, you know, like going to study abroad, which नेपालमा धेरै जानुहुन्छ होइन बाहिर. So हामीले चाहिँ अस्ति actually this whole episode came about because Robina and Vidya were having dinner one day. We're just talking about like यसरी, and then we just realized that both of them have a lot of interesting stories which provide a lot of interesting insight into the Nepali society. Especially अहिले especially at least urban settings मा चाहिँ, especially folks who use dating apps and can afford to go abroad to study or have wanted to go want to go study abroad. यो विदेश जाने मोहले चाहिँ कसरी मान्छेहरूको चाहिँ लभ स्टोरी यहाँ हुनबाट रोक्छ भन्ने बारेमा हो हाम्रो आजको एपिसोड. Do I sound, is it too cringe to live?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So maybe if it's okay, can I ask you guys like a little bit about like how long have you been on dating apps? How's your general experience been on dating apps?
I did my undergrad abroad, so I have been on dating apps since I got back. That's the last 4 years of my life. Well, like on and off, not entirely. Mixed feelings. So I have had good experience, funny, interesting experiences, amusing experiences. I think it all depends on what your like objective is going in. So like depending on what you're looking for, त्यही अनुसार चाहिँ different reactions, meeting different people. कहिलेकाहीँ त म यसो अल्छी लागेको बेला यो त नेटवर्क गर्ने एउटा तरिका पनि भइसक्यो भन्छु होइन काठमाडौँ यत्रो छ. So sometimes I just like plug in like professional, you know, I have this thing like
Hey, follow me on LinkedIn also now that we've matched on Tinder.
Yeah, so like it's so amusing to see how the objective has changed for me coming in like when I started being on dating apps to where I am now.
Oh, okay. There is an objective though. There is an objective. मेरो चाहिँ I think it's been like I started being very proactive on dating apps last October, September देखि. त्योभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ I was on there. Yeah. त्योभन्दा अगाडि त pandemic थियो नि त, so there was no pressure to date. A lot of my friends were able to get dates and like casual relationships, even though it was a pandemic, even though they were living like in different places. And I was like, maybe pandemic is not a good excuse anymore. I need to get on dating apps. Yeah, I think it serves different purposes. At one point, say Bumble, it's like you're not really looking to like date, but just have some people you can hang out with, talk to, kindly.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's really exciting, like when you're like you get a match, and then it doesn't matter whether you go on a date or not, or whether you'll actually continue to engage further, but just like having that first conversation is really exciting.
I feel like I just go there just to like, sometimes I'm in the zone to date and like converse, but sometimes I'm just like, I just want to see what's out there. So like then my objective is just like swipe, but then I'll not necessarily start a conversation with everybody. So like it like changes, I think. Sometimes I'm actively looking to date. So yeah.
So I don't want this to sound like एकदमै इन्टरभ्यू टाइपको. अनि मेरो अर्को प्रश्न हो भनेर म जान खोज्दिनँ होइन. हामीले लास्ट टाइम कुरा गर्दाखेरि एन्ड बिकज वी टकिङ अबाउट इट राइट नाउ, बिकज अहिले यो नयाँ एकाडेमिक सेसन फल सेसन सुरु हुन लागेछ. अनि जस्ट टु पुट थिङ्स इन्टु पर्सपेक्टिभ, नेपालबाट हामीलाई थाहा छ लाइक समन वी नो इज स्टडिङ अब्रड हेज गन अब्रड, अफ ट्राइङ टु गो अब्रड, त्यो छ नि त होइन. सो अस्ति चाहिँ वेन वी वर टकिङ वी जस्ट वान्टेड टु वी रियलाइज वेन यु गाइज वर शेयरिङ योर स्टोरिज कि you know this is something that sort of affects your experience on dating apps. And before we go to the experience, I just want to put in some numbers to put this thing in perspective. Is that हामीलाई थाहा छ अमेरिका नेपालीहरू धेरैजना जानुहुन्छ स्टुडेन्ट्सहरू होइन, but given how small our country is, it's quite shocking कि, and this is a report from the US government in 2019 pre-pandemic होइन, Nepal ranks 12th in both undergraduate and graduate students in the US, which is a huge number, right? Given how small our country is. We have about like more than 13,000, you know, people who went there or as of 2019. I think it was that year ko data, right? So which says a lot. And Australia, again, another destination where lots of Nepalese go there as students, होइन. यो चाहिँ 2021 को काठमाडौँ पोस्टको न्युज स्टोरी अनुसार चाहिँ यो नो अब्जेक्सन सर्टिफिकेट विच इज यु नो पिपल आस्क फ्रम मिनिस्ट्री अफ एजुकेसन, त्यहाँ चाहिँ अब लगभग 17,000जनाले अप्लाई गराएको थियो भने अलमोस्ट लाइक 3,000 प्लस चाहिँ अस्ट्रेलियाको लागि थियो, विच अगेन इज अ ह्युज नम्बर. एन्ड द रिजन वाइ सेइङ इज बिकज राइट नाउ वी सort of want to also understand as a young Nepali female with aspirations for higher education and you know like and better prospects भनौँ न, चाहे त्यो विदेशमा होस् होइन, त्यो अथवा नेपालमै होस् पनि होइन. सो त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ and then you bring in the dating apps and you're talking to people and they're like people like you, like similar interests, similar age group, similar aspirations, and many of them are sort of like planning to sort of like migrate, which people do every day in Nepal, you know, in thousands every day. So how does it feel to sort of, I don't know how to like frame this without being like question basically academic session आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ does that sort of like interrupt some of the things that you sort of like are sort of doing on dating apps, त्यहाँबाट things, conversations, you know, possible relationships, त्यो केही छ? If you guys would like to share your stories.
I think I've been on like both the end where I've like matched with people where they've been leaving, and it's also been like now it's the other way around where I'm kind of leaving and I'm like meeting people. So I think, and there is like more than pattern one. Many people think about this as in, if you, like I said again, like why you are into dating, like in dating apps. So sometimes मान्छेहरू चाहिँ अब they just want something casual नि त. So it's very convenient if you just like match or hang out with someone who's leaving. So a lot of the time if you're looking for something casual, like oh it's working out because that person's gonna leave in like 2 months just okay. So if you're just like, you know, if you strictly have that agenda, then like it works in your favor. So त्यही हो
तर लभ स्टोरी
it gets tricky when you start getting emotionally invested or attached. त्यो भएपछि चाहिँ na, then you're like, oh no, what do we do? And yeah, I think I've been in like those scenarios, and I've seen like friends too. But since you get on dating app, like you have this at least अलिकति clarity हुन्छ नि त अगाडि नै. I don't know, at least for me, like I've had this conversations with my like matches where we're like, oh, where do you see this going, or like, you know,
I mean, as Nepalese, we are so assertive and like, wow, एकदम practical छौँ हामी on dating apps, like on certain pockets.
I mean, like I try to bring it up, and I've had like matches who bring it up too. So अगाडि नै, oh, so you're leaving, so is this like, you know, like I've just like recently had this like match, and सिधै गएर he was like, and I was just like, hey, like what's up, just like casual conversation. Straight up he goes like, and I told him like, oh, I'm leaving soon. And he's like, he sent me like 5 questions, okay? So like, oh, so like, what are your plans? What kind of expectations do you have from me, or like, what are you looking from? Like, and I was like 4-5 questions. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I want to go there.
Young people are so sorted, right? So I didn't. As a Boju, I feel like I'm very proud of this young generation of Nepalese taking the country forward.
Not everyone.
Vidya, how has your experience been?
I think my experience has been quite different because मेरो चाहिँ त्यो like academic session start हुनलाई July or some intake start हुनलाई भन्दाखेरि पनि with every person you sort of vibe with, they will bring it up. Then they will bring it up. Okay? They will bring going abroad up at one point. You always come expecting. Yo man say April ma nagoi, July ma jancha, July nagoi, November ma jancha, November nagoi, February ma jancha. So I'm just like very prepared because I feel like it's quite pervasive. Okay, हाम्रो generation ma, especially like undergrad सक्काकोहरु,
right,
or like yeah, everyone's thinking about going abroad for grad school खालको हुन्छ नि त. So I am like pretty prepared to bring that up, but still, you're like really vibing with that person, and then you're really having good time, and then suddenly they're like, "Oh, mera aaj IELTS ko results," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, I knew this would happen, but like I was not prepared for you to bring this up. And then IELTS good results. We've hung out like 6 times. You've never talked about IELTS.
Oh my god, it's so like what could be like भनौँ न के भन्छ अब यो पनि अब this is something that you know like you don't think about it नि हैन. What could be things that you know like you would not go for in a relationship के कसो गरेर suddenly like this विदेश जाने तयारी. अनि हामीले अस्ति लाइक वी अलवेज डु हाम्रो एकदम भेरी ज्ञानी हाम्रो फलोवर्स अन इन्स्टाग्राम हामीले सोधेको थियौँ कि यो स्पेसिफिक च्यालेन्जेस द्याट कम विथ बिङ अ नेपाली स्पेसली इफ यु इन नेपाल एन्ड जहाँ चाहिँ एभ्री डे पिपल आर जस्ट लिभिङ द कन्ट्री होइन. अनि हामीले चाहिँ सोधेको थियौँ है मान्छेहरूलाई हेज विदेशको भिजा कम इन द वे अफ रोमान्स भनेर. सो द क्वेसन्स वर अप्सन्स वर येस नो कति हो कति एन्ड अभियसली कति हो कतिले धेरै के अरे votes पाएको थियो होइन. And we got some sort of like stories of how sort of like how this sort of like played out for some people. One of them was like usle paere visa, and then she was like I will come back, and she never came back. She was like it was me भन्ने टाइपको भइरहेको थियो होइन. And the other one was कि केटीको अमेरिकामा भिजा लाग्यो and then she left and obviously you know ditched the person, started seeing someone. That's again something else होइन. So it's really nice to know that people are actually you know being very upfront in the beginning what do you want out of this relationship and where it's going भनेर होइन.
जति नै prepared भएर पनि like when you start vibing with a person where you're like, oh, I feel like I want to know this person better, and then IELTS comes in, it's like
whoever thought IELTS would come up. मान्छेको politics अरू कुरा IELTS आइदिँदैन के कस्तो like a very specific Nepal, very like very specific to Nepal.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not just like बाहिर जाने मान्छेहरू मात्र, म चाहिँ बाहिरबाट फर्केर आउने मान्छेहरूसँग नि इस्यु हुन्छ. So
why?
like already नेपालको डेटिङ पुल काठमाडौँमा बसेर यति सानो छ, you already have to filter out okay बाहिर जाने मान्छेहरू हुँदैन, बाहिरबाट फर्केर आएकोहरू पनि हुँदैन.
Why? It's the other way around for me. It's like
because I feel like बाहिर गएर आउने मान्छेहरू have a very particular returny behavior. Okay?
Like
why is Nepal like this?
Do I exhibit such behavior?
I feel like I feel like हुन्छ नि 2 वर्ष नेपाल अब 2 वर्ष 3 वर्ष कति बाहिर बसेर आएको हुन्छ नि, they suddenly have to like re-immerse into Nepali culture and Nepali society, and suddenly you being like going on dates with them feels like you are their local consultant. Like you suddenly have to justify things, and I'm like, no,
yeah, no.
यिनीहरू पनि हुँदैन बाहिरबाट गइरहेकोहरू.
Like the Bumble, like you said, you exhaust the list.
Oh.
Pro tip, that's what I like give like tips to people as if because I've been on dating apps for so long. I give tips to people who just like are
me too.
like just got started. Like what I do, like my strategy going in is like, oh, if I want like okay, I'm like match or like talk to someone new, ek din basta swipe गर्ने and चारवटा जस्तो राख्ने like मान्छेहरुसँग गर्ने, and then you like talk to them, and then you don't swipe because like you said, you exhaust the like the list so fast, and then you talk to them, and then you talk to them and you see like if you vibe with them, right? So there's another round of filter, and then you're like, oh, if you don't, then you stop talking to them, and then with like some of them you move to like another platform like social media.
This sounds
मेरो
like
strategy.
flow chart बनाएर dating app मा गएको चाहिँ, oh my god.
Literally, they know. I think मेरो one's same strategy to last time, see? Because first rather like I used to be very picky about who I swiped right on. Then I realized like हुन्छ नि, even if you get good matches, like the chances are very low that you'll हुन्छ नि, have like longer engagement with them. So what I did was ek taka चाहिँ I can't be picky भनेर थाहा भयो. So I was like, okay, from now on I will swipe on any person I can start a conversation with. So even if हुन्छ नि अरु बेलामा I would not have swiped right on them, if there's Bumble मा त you have to text first हुन्छ नि. So if I think I can send out that text first as soon as we match, then I swipe right on that person. Okay? So त्यसरी चाहिँ I think January तिर I had like bunch of matches, and then त्यो बेलामा COVID भइरहेको थियो and I was at home, okay? So I had time. So I was like talking to everything, हुन्छ नि, like interviews जस्तो होइन, but like you give everyone a chance. Okay?
Ah, that's so generous of you, Vidya. It's interesting is about how this sort of like academic cycle thing sort of like comes in between भनौँ न future prospect of a romantic relationship होइन. तर त्यसले गर्दा अब now that Robina, you're on the other side होइन, तिमी चाहिँ जान लायक छौ नि त. So how did that make you feel in terms of like let's say like 1 year ago when you decided okay like next year is the year I'm going to like pursue my higher education, plan my future, whatever. So त्यति बेला चाहिँ how do you look at dating differently when you're on the other side त्यसरी पनि?
Definitely, I think like once you know you are like leaving, and I think it's very subjective also because a lot of people are open to pursuing long distance relationships without that. Like for me, I always have that like had that clarity that I want to long distance. So since I have that clarity, I always like, even if I like think that I'm vibing with this person, I'm like, oh, I'm leaving, and then this is I don't think it will work after I leave. So if you wanna still hang out, then let's pursue it. Natra it's छैन खालको. So त्यो भएको चाहिँ clarity भएको हुनाले चाहिँ I always it's just straight out there for me.
And how have the receiving party of this एकदम glad like भनौँ न, like how have they taken it? Like how has your experience been like being on the other side भनौँ न?
I think it depends on like different kinds of men. Like some are they're like very nonchalant. They don't want to talk about it. Tickets are cool. Tickets, let's just hang out. Khalko. But there have also like been like there's like also been an instance like where we're like we're like a little bit attached. Like where we think like this might work out, but you're leaving. But there's not much we can do about it because again, oh no, yeah, dependent madanya. That joke has been brought up a few times. But again, like, since if you have the clarity that, especially the long distance bit, work गर्न सक्छ कि सक्दैन भनेर, किनभने गर्न सक्छ भए चाहिँ people want to be like, होइन, let's try to make it work. But if that person also thinks that, oh, long distance, it's not an option, then the immediate answer is like, oh, okay, so it's not going to work, what do we do?
So you stop hanging out with them?
No. No, I think like it depends. Like for me, what it's been like is like, oh, we chose to like, oh, we enjoy each other's company. I know you're leaving, but let's spend the present being together. Khalko.
Oh, so Instagram ko यस्तो जस्तै के अरे quote cute quote जस्तै let's spend the present time together. Time is right now.
Live in the present.
Yeah. I feel like Marvin the advisor because like I think I'm on the other end nito. So a lot of the advices I always go to like the older women for dating advice, and they're like, oh, just enjoy the present, make memories. Exactly. So I think that's the strategy.
यो क्ल्यारिटी आउनु अनि हामीले जुन पहिलाको हाम्रो लभ सेक्स नो धोका एपिसोड कुरा गरेको थियो, लाइक डेटिङ एप्स इज प्रोभाइडिङ दिस सर्ट अफ लाइक पहिला नभएको फर्स्ट टाइम फर मेनी अफ अस दिस सर्ट अफ लाइक to decide what you want in a relationship, and how one of them had said about how it made them also realize or like sort of know themselves better, and like
Right.
what you want, and like like sort of the or I was reading this book by Shayana Bhattacharya, Desperately Seeking Shahrukh, India's Lonely Young Women and the Search for Intimacy and Independence. So it's एउटा कुरा it brings up is how over time all the realities around you, भनौँ न देशको economic situation, the situation of women, their role in the workplace, also sort of like really impacts how you envision the future for yourself as an individual, होइन त्यो आफ्नो larger structuresहरूमा भएको कुराले गर्दा. तर let's say if that was not the situation, if like academic cycles, IELTS, or this desire to like sort of like leave this country and go, for folks that you are talking to, or yourselves also, if you didn't see yourself picturing, if there was a situation in Nepal was good enough for you to sort of like do the things you wanted to, chase the dreams you wanted to, त्यो भएको भए चाहिँ would you look at romantic relationships a bit differently being on these apps?
I feel like there'd just be better, like sorry, more chances of you meeting people. I feel like also I feel like I genuinely think Nepalमा cute केटाहरूको जनसङ्ख्या घट्छ. I genuinely think that like you always have to be saying like, oh, Kuku's a cute kid. And I think there are fewer people. So I think dating apps is one of the places where you can actually know what's out there. Apps are not even like I've told my friends, oh, I'm single. Please set me up with like the people like. It has not worked okay? I feel like even if you tried other channels, the results are not great. So dating apps with धेरै मान्छे छैन, मान्छेको quality पनि राम्रो छैन, but still it's there. At least एउटा option छ
Quality yeah, I think same as what Vidya said. Like the dating pool is already like so small. Ani if like the migration like problem weren't so like huge or substantial, then probably अलि धेरै मान्छे भेटिन्थ्यो कि यस्तो love story हुन्थ्यो कि like and I could tell people, oh, I met my partner through like dating app, but so I think that's like well, not Brikutik online platform तर हुन्छ नि, I'd love to share that story too.
But I feel like यस्तो पनि हो कि like a lot of the times, at least for people my age, say they first started
Vidya, by the
dating.
way, is Gen Z. She's very young. She just watched Dil Jata Hai, मैले insist गरेर अस्ति. Anyway.
But I feel like I think मेरो age group ko मान्छेहरु they started dating at school, like they started dating at school, or they started dating when they were in college and stuff. त्यो बाहेक त अरू ways of dating खासै हुँदैन त, meeting people and stuff. So मेरो केसमा चाहिँ I was surrounded by women all my life. Like I went to a girls' school. I studied humanities in my +2, so there was literally one guy in my class.
दुईटा केटा थियो.
Exactly, मेरोमा त 16 जना केटीहरु. अनि हामीले डान्स पनि गरेको. राधा के सेना जलेवा. एउटा केटालाई कृष्ण बनाए, the British बनाए, राधा बनाए, everyone else goopy बनाए. So see, like there's not like मान्छेहरु भेट्ने ठाउँै हुँदैन के spacesहरु, and if you work full time and then office my boss may want to see too.
Also like like for someone who just like came back from like studying abroad, dating app is like you said, अरू channels pursuing like कसरी थाहा पनि हुँदैन, साथी पनि धेरै हुँदैन, सबजना again like विदेशीका हुन्छ, they're like abroad and you don't have a lot of friends and you don't know where to start. So dating app kind of like helps you. And I know like a lot of you, as soon as they come back, they get into dating apps. But not about like it might not necessarily be to be like, oh, I'm looking for a partner. It's just a way to, I guess, meet people. Only like dating apps, like at least it provided me with that platform.
That space soon, so yeah.
Networking खूब गरेर अभिनय. No, but yeah, I don't know how we can. I don't know if there'll be like a conclusion of this episode, but it's pretty. We don't realize, at least when we started talking about the possibility of doing this conversation, was कि हामीले as me and Nitisha who are not on dating apps, त्यो कसरी चाहिँ सानसानो कुरामा पनि it sort of like reflects what's happening in the when you zoom out, like the number of people leaving this country, especially obviously men leave the country in higher numbers, at least what's documented. Even I think in education wise, but obviously the sort of society where we come from, where the male child is more valued and family is willing to invest more in the male child. It seems quite possible that men might be of a certain age also might be leaving in higher numbers, but that sort of त्यसैले हेर हाम्रो देशमा समृद्धि चाहियो हामीलाई अनि बल्ल मान्छेहरूको यसो लभ स्टोरी यहाँ लेख्न पाउँछ होइन
समृद्ध नेपाल समृद्ध नभएर हो हामी यस्तो भएको
Exactly.
romantic relationships are not something that women value the most at this
right.
point, because it really is
Yeah.
20s sort of, as a boju myself, I can talk about how, you know, like better things await for us once on the other side of 30. Like,
Fingers crossed.
when I was in my 20s, you know, dating apps weren't really a thing, you know, like especially when I was in college, it was not a thing, dating apps. College ma jo केटाहरुले just guy phone number काबाट पाएर creepily call गरे and they just start talking to that guy, you know, it's so weird.
Anyway. पहिले त I think अहिलेसम्म पनि म आउँदैसम्म people were so hesitant to be on dating apps too, like initially, because there was this like idea that dating app भनेको coat सुत्ने app, or like, you know, this just had this like, do I really want to, like people felt uncomfortable also sharing, like especially women I've noticed were like they wouldn't admit that they were on dating apps, and that has I think changed remarkably over through the years, where people are just like, I'm on dating app, you know, मान्छे like यस्तो भइरहेछ खालको.
I think it's sort of like for some of us, say, like being on dating apps means that we're seeking some kind of relationships, so it's certainly like, and then you all like सबैलाई थाहा हुन्छ तिमी dating app so at one, because everyone is on dating app, somebody you know is on dating app, so थाहा हुन्छ कि तिमी dating app मा भएर, so some people they find it अलिकति uncomfortable रहेछ that other people come up to them and be like, I saw you on Bumble or stuff.
Like even like work related, like if you work in a building and if you're active on dating app, like the chances are that you will see your colleagues on the app, and that has happened to me like multiple times too. And the chances of you matching, like, so like dating pool is so small. Like for example, like this match of mine that was like what I'm seeing right now, I like introduced him to my friends, and we were like having like this thing, and then he was like, I've matched with 2 of these women. So it's so funny, like, you know, the number of matches, and like, you know, not everybody remembers, because, you know, if you've been there long enough, you're just like swiping, trying to like talk to people, you're bound to have crossed paths once.
I just remember Nikita saying about how like there are like 5 people and she's like, hi, how are you?
I mean, like the dating pool सानो हुने कुरामा चाहिँ I don't think it helps in dating apps ma. Already pool सानो छ, you sort of become very selective and so like एकजनासँग match हुन्छ and then 11 थाहा छ यसले यसको back history पनि थाहा छ.
Oh god, doesn't sound like a...
But it helps you, like, if like for me, like my friends and I, like it helps us because we're like, we have like, you know, insights and insight, like, त्यो केटा त यस्तो छ, I have like one, so we, you know, like we check on one another. So in that regard, that has been
silver lining of all the chaos and all the flow chart ko alikati silver lining. Tara just to alikati end on a positive note, it's already positive note भइसक्यो. Oh please, timi bhana na the positive note. It doesn't have to be a positive note, I'm just joking, but if there's something.
I mean, like after being on dating apps for a while, I sort of knew कि हुन्छ नि यहाँबाट चाहिँ there's not going to be love, there's going to be Dhoka, and there's going to be bit sex, but nothing else out of his life. But recently, I think last phase was I matched with someone, and then it's been like going well, so I want to tell people out there, it works. It works.
Wow, that's so nice, Vidya. It's really nice to do.
Definitely.
All what they were, ekdam like promoter, Bumble ko free ma ambassador where all their friends are getting out of relationship and everyone's like, isto experience bhako थियो.
I hope neither of you is giving IELTS right now, Vidya.
Not yet.
तर यो dating को कुरा गर्दाखेरि I just realized the first time I was super straightforward and very clear in my mind was also when I sort of like met my partner, not on a dating app, but Instagram, DM पठाइदियो यसो internet. No, but I was also, the sad story I realized when I was working on this episode, I was like, this came up in my relationship also, like when it was just like a budding romance with I was like, shoot, I have to go America to study.
Exactly.
How do I bring this up? And I really like you, and you know, like I am coming back to Nepal. And I was like, you wait, मैं यूँ गई और यूँ आएँ या म पनि त्यस्तो पीडामा परेको छु guys, so I might
long
not be on
distance.
I might not be on dating apps, but I was one of the bidesh jaane mayalu, so
The one who came back
Oh,
though.
yeah. धन्यवाद रबिना र विद्यालाई तपाईँहरूको अन्तर्मनको कुराहरू हामीसँग यसरी सेयर गरिदिनु भएकोमा
Frustrations.
and I wish you guys good luck with your life.
Yes, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
होइन and yeah
Good luck, Robina.
Yes.
ब्रह्मास्त्र हेर है अस्ट्रेलियामा okay, so thank you once again if you've listened to this entire conversation. मेरो नाम भ्रिकुटी राई, यो बोजु बजे पडकास्ट हो रे क्या अनि के भन्ने अरू ओके so you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where we post a lot of fun things. And if you like our podcast, have been listening to it for a while, and you really feel like, wow, that's fun, these guys work really hard to produce this ekdam moving episodes, then please become our patron. You can go to patreon.com/BojuBajai and support our work so that we can continue this laugh and gaf. And Itisha, tiमी कहाँ छौ?
We miss you.
We miss you, Itisha. But yeah, we'll be back soon with our next episode. Ani aru ke besides that, if you guys have any like episode ideas, things you want us to sort of like like have conversations about, please write to us at info@bojubajai.org. त्यति भन्दा भन्दै म मेरो 2 शब्द यही टुङ्ग्याउन चाहन्छु. फेरि बहुत ज्यादा धन्यवाद. अनि केसरिया तेरा इश्क है पिया. Please guys join me.
And just like trying to create
You guys don't know the
Bojubajai's
song.
theme song.
You guys don't know
No,
the
we
song.
know Kesaria. Kesaria
तेरा इश्क है पिया रंग. Okay, bye.
Bye.